Hello, Spooner Leahy, along with the Music Man.
Yep. We just got out of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. What do you think the next movie is going to be called? We've had Rise, Dawn, and then there's going to be The Revenge of the Planet of the Apes.
Revenge? No.
The Reckoning of the Planet of the Apes.
Well, with both of these,
The Resurrection of the Planet of the Apes.
No, it has to be probably something of like solidifying that it has fully become the Planet of the Apes instead of just, oh, they're rising, it's beginning, it's...
So
they've been anticipation.
So just the Planet of the Apes, right?
Nah, because the 68 version would have title rights to that.
Well, that didn't stop Tim Burton.
Dumbass. Not you, Burton.
Okay.
I haven't even seen that one, and it looks hokey as hell.
It's pretty fucking stupid, but yeah, general thoughts on this. I was pleasantly surprised, actually, and admittedly, I did not like the first one.
What didn't you like about the first one? I never saw it, by the way.
It was not really a sci-fi movie. It was really more of a PETA movie. It was like look at what we're doing to these poor animals and shit like that. And there's very, very little sci-fi elements to it, which is really sad because, you know, as we know, the original Planet of the Apes is a sci-fi classic. There is so much symbolism in that movie, and the writing is just so damn elegant. There's a reason why why even to this day people regard it as, you know, a classic and everything. So
plus it's just plus Charlton Heston. What more do you need?
Yeah, exactly.
You maniacs.
So yeah, I mean that's my biggest gripe with it, is that it doesn't have very much to do with the original, other than the fact that it had apes in it. And oops,
I'm just opening the windows.
Okay.
All right.
It didn't have much to do with it, other than the fact that it was apes, you know, that gained intelligence and stuff like that. But that was it. Like I said, it was more about, look at the horrible things we're doing to these apes, and there was a bit of an anti-capitalist thing with it. Like, you could say there was symbolism with the apes representing the lower class.
That was the you're summing up Rise still, right?
Yes, this is just still Rise.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I really didn't like it. This one, though, I think does it better. It's still, okay, as a lot of people are saying, this outdoes the original. Mm-hmm. Personally, no. I still say the first one is the best.
Original as in the 68?
Yes.
Probably just because of the effects. The effects in this are pretty decent, I would say.
Yeah, they, you know, the facial animations especially, there's a lot of good screenwriting that can come with that.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. The facial animations in this, when I was originally coming into this, not knowing any of, like, the individual apes and, like, what their personalities were.
Admittedly, we only really met, like, 3 in the last movie, I should say.
3?
Yeah, Caesar, Maurice, and...
Koba?
Koba, yeah.
Okay.
Well, and a little bit of the gorilla, but he didn't have a personality.
Yeah, they just showed him off in the trailers. Everybody's saying, "Oh, King Kong is in this too!"
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was alright. At a couple of points, it seemed a little bit like it was trying to steal from, like, other elements. Can we just talk about spoilers?
Well, let's save spoilers for a little bit.
Okay, just general reactions right now. Alright, yeah, I thought this was pretty alright. You don't need to I don't think you need to see Rise too much.
They do a pretty good job of recapping it in the beginning, because admittedly the very last thing we see in Rise is somebody is coughing up blood. So it, like, immediately, okay, so there's going to be a virus that wipes out most of the human race, and
yeah, the simian flu.
Yep, and then the apes are going to take over, or they're going to make their own civilization and stuff like that. So that's what we got out of Rise. And admittedly, there is one major callback. There was one scene that's a huge callback to the original, but even then it's not entirely important that you see the first one.
Okay.
And frankly, I recommend skipping it. It's not really that good.
Is it just because of the annoying writing, or is it... Because I've heard other people say that it had a tone that was very... The tone and pacing was very, like, boring and slow.
I wouldn't say it was boring and slow. I just can't... I can't get into this when the severe lack of it's overly simple-minded. That's what I'm
Okay.
trying to say.
All right.
It's, like I said, a PETA movie.
We don't like activist movies.
Yeah, especially angry activist movies. That's why I don't like Princess Mononoke.
Oh yeah, he'll probably produce a video on his channel sometime about how much he hates it and
Why Nausicaa is far superior. But hey, we're not talking about that right now. So the other thing about this movie that I think, for me personally, is that I do enjoy a little bit more of the realism aspect of it, with the apes communicating with sign language.
oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that was really good. And I mean, I'm okay. Sorry, I have a cold, so I sound all stuff up. I'm gonna be coughing, but you don't do that. So okay, but I can get behind the apes talking, just not in the ridiculous way they were, like in the Tim Burton film. But
I never saw the Burton. This is the only Apes movie that I've ever seen. So
okay.
But I saw the honest trailer for Burton's Apes, and it looks really dumb.
It is really dumb, and they talk like, you know, they talk regularly.
They speak like regular humans.
Yeah, they all have their own, like, there's like this stupid one that's a comedic relief. It's dumb, but I like this one, how it's, you know, it's kind of kept as you would for people who are primitive to speaking, and the sign language makes sense for the apes because, well, I mean, that's how Caesar was taught how to speak. That's how Maurice was taught how to speak. He was a circus orangutan. That's why he.
I kept on laughing at whenever Maurice came up.
Yeah, and that was really annoying, by the way.
I'm sorry, but even though Maurice's face is probably like every other orangutan that you'd ever see, it still looks like a seat cushion. Oh, and also, like both you and I are fans of like comedy that can be so like epic and bizarre that it's hilarious. I will never not giggle at apes riding on horses and apes with riding on horses.
Yeah.
Just the overall scenario.
Yeah. You were laughing. I was kind of gritting my teeth going, no. Just fucking no.
About me or the
about the movie. About the movie. Okay, without spoiling anything, I will say the apes at one point do get their hands on guns, and they try to use them against the humans. All I'm saying to myself is no, I don't care if these things are more intelligent than, or are intelligent apes. You give somebody a gun who has never held a gun, never has seen a gun in their life. They're not going to be like, oh, this is how you shoot it. Yeah, bang, 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 bang. No.
This is how you cock it.
Yeah.
This is how you reload it.
Oh my god, no. If you, let's just say, for example, let's just say like the apes, you know, no, not to be racist or anything. Let's just say the apes are like African tribes. You dump a boatload of guns off to these people. They're not going to be able to use them to take over Africa. They're not going to know how to fucking use them.
Or Aborigines.
Yeah, or at the very least, not instantly. Maybe over time they could study it to be like, oh, okay, so this is how you do it, and then, but no, these apes, the second they pick up the gun, they immediately know how to use it. No, absolutely not, and that really, really bugged me. And the other part that bugged me, which is a problem I have in a lot of action movies, is
Tell me.
they never run out of ammo. They never have to reload. They never have to recock their guns. Nothing. And at one point in the movie, you know, I think to myself, what happens when they do run out of ammo? They'd be shit out of luck. Because they're not going to know how to put in, if they did, I would be even more pissed. But they're not going to, realistically, these apes are not going to know how to put bullets back in the magazines and put the magazine back in and cock it and everything. They're not going to know how to do that.
I can be devil's advocate right here and say most of the guns that they stole were light machine guns, which have large magazines.
That is true, but they still probably can't use them for days on end.
They didn't use them for days on end. It was a couple of nights. It was the one night raid, and then they just used them as threats throughout throughout the second act.
It's pretty hard to believe. At one point, not one of them runs out of ammo.
Okay.
And I thought that would have been a thing or a plot point where it's like at one point one of the apes holds it up to somebody and they're like click, they're like, oh shit, and then the humans revolt or something. That would have been
good and bad at the same time, because that would have kind of been anticlimactic.
Well, I just thought it would be something, because again, for me it's just a bit ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But that's really kind of where my flaws end. I mean, well, okay, other than this one guy in the film who I was so happy when he died.
Carver.
This one gun-ho crazy motherfucker who's just like, anything that moves, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it.
You're shaking the car.
I know.
I didn't like him either. He's, there's a character in this, for those of you who've seen Rise, he's the human counterpart to Koba, and he doesn't really provide. He's like a standard stupid villain. He doesn't provide any insight onto the actual story. He's just there.
He's there to cause problems and to cause conflict where it could have easily been avoided. This isn't spoiling anything. This happens within like the first 5 minutes of the movie. The humans come into the forest where the apes live, and this guy finds an ape. And at first he's scared, naturally, but they're not doing anything. They're just like, hey, what are you doing here? And what's the first thing he does? Shoots them! What the fuck, man? What the fucking fuck?
If you were in his shoes, and instead of like an ape, it was a bear, you would still, and if it was just standing there, you'd do the exact same thing.
Yes,
it's just self-protection.
Apes are not predators, though.
They were predators at the end of Rise.
No, they weren't.
I'm assuming that they were.
Well, okay, excuse me. Predators as in they don't eat people.
But they can attack out of instinct.
See, in Rise it was different though. They were only trying to get to that forest. That was it. They weren't like trying to destroy the town or anything. They were just trying to get somewhere.
They were just trying to find a safe haven.
Essentially,
outside of the cages.
Yeah, they weren't like doing what like at the end of this movie where they were like trying to, get, oh damn it, that's a spoiler. But yeah,
everyone can assume.
Yeah.
Can I say something quickly? Not to harken on your time.
That's fine.
I had a huge love-hate aspect with the movie, and you will not be able to guess what it is.
What is it?
The character of Caesar. Well, for me at least, seeing the trailers for Rise and seeing the motivations behind Caesar and how he would interact with the humans, or seemed like he would interact with the humans, it seems like his character does a complete 180. It seems like he completely changes his motivations towards humans and just changes his whole attitude, sort of, and in a way he wants peace more than a certain motivation that he had in the first one. So it was just confusing, but overall he actually did seem like he was an interesting character.
Yeah.
The way that he led the apes, the way that he was able to keep a calm demeanor in the aspect and presence of something that can be very tense, such as almost all of the battle sequences that happen in this.
Which is something I really, really like, and is a new twist on this thing that's been done many, many times before, like in Princess Mononoke, Avatar, How to Train Your Dragon. This thing where these two opposing sides are like
opposing species,
yeah, are going at it, and both of them think that they are absolutely perfect, and that it's like they don't have any sensible reasoning to think, maybe they're just like us, and maybe we can work out something, and maybe, that's what I like about this movie, is that these apes actually have enough sense in them to be like, we don't want war as much as any more than you guys don't, so why don't we just work out something? And it's not just like stall out, you guys come within our vicinity, we will immediately kill you. I hate that so much, because at one point you think to yourself, you guys are a bunch of fucking idiots. And that's again, that's my problem with all the movies I just stated. Except How to Train Your Dragon, that one was different. In fact, I don't even think that applies. Forget I said How to Train Your Dragon, but Princess Mononoke and Avatar...
No. Dragon definitely applies, because because it still resulted in them reconciling. With the others, it was I'm assuming with Mononoke, but with Avatar, it still ended up being, oh, you have to leave. We will be still controlling this now. Nobody learned anything besides, you guys are bad, we are good.
Essentially, yeah.
Dragon...
How to Train Your Dragon didn't do that, though.
It did.
Did it?
Yes! Oh my goodness!
It's so that both sides were good, though.
Yeah, but they still reconciled and lived together.
Well, yeah, but in Avatar they didn't live together.
That's why I'm saying it...
Oh, okay. Alright, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So,
spoiler time.
Yeah. So, just quick before we get into spoilers, I just want to say, this... If you're a fan of the Planet of the Apes franchise, by now you've probably already seen this movie. But if you haven't, you're still on the fence. You're like, is it as bad as Rise of the Planet of the Apes? It's not. Admittedly, there are a few things that I think are a little too simple-minded, as well as a few other missteps. But overall, it's generally pretty good. It's not hardened sci-fi like the classic Planet of the Apes, but as a standalone movie, it works. It's pretty good. I give it a recommendation. So,
I definitely feel the same, and it's actually, I think it still actually brings up the issue of science meeting the motivations of Darwinism and the aspects of evolution, which is a very hard topic to not. Even in sci-fi, to try and exploit, without being directly controversial, and this just shows what happens when those two come into contact. But I think Rise deals with it in the more dramatic sense. This actually examines both sides of it, instead of it being, this is what will happen, this is what can happen.
Rise was very one-sided.
This is very balanced, and the morals,
its moral was very well made. It wasn't just humans are bad, apes are good, they're better than us because they don't kill their own kind or some shit like that.
There can be poison on both sides, personally, I think it had a little bit of narrative issue, which I'll get into in a minute.
Yeah, there's one other thing I want to talk about, but it's spoilers.
I had a good time with it, and I'll probably give it about a 7 to a 7.5 out of 10. It kept my attention. I'm glad I saw it. It was all right.
Yeah, I'll go with you. Yeah, 7.5 out of 10 sounds good.
All right, now spoiler time.
Now spoilers. Okay. Can I go, or do you want to go?
Go for it.
Okay. The one thing that I hate about this film that I think is it's a bit too simple-minded. It's got a little bit of the stink of the Rise of the Planet of the Apes with it, is its message on gun control.
How? Please explain. I would love to hear.
You didn't see that? There was a very, very clear thing on this is what happens when you let when guns are this open to the public.
No, I didn't get that.
There is so much of that in this movie, to the point where it was pissing me off.
I didn't get it. I didn't get that vibe at all. It was just, personally, I thought that was like a weak plot point, and no guards at the armory besides these couple of guys who test out the guns on
which
on
again, you're in an apocalyptic
God damn it!
What? I'm like coughing up a lung. You're in an apocalyptic environment. Ammo would be scarce. Don't waste it on a fucking truck.
I didn't actually think of that.
Yeah.
No, but
at least I'm thinking. I got Last of Us on the mind. It's like a zombie apocalypse video game. You rarely find ammo in that game, and that's what
I've heard of that.
Yeah. So I'm thinking to myself, save your ammo, you stupid fucks. But whatever.
Yeah, and the Koba, the
evil ape.
Yeah, he's typecast as being evil. What did he give off an evil vibe in Rise?
Yes, he did.
Or was
he and Caesar actually had a big fight when Caesar was taken away and thrown into the cage with all the other apes
because they thought he was becoming too intelligent.
Yeah. He was the top dog ape of the whole crew.
Koba was or Caesar was?
Koba was.
Okay.
And it was so fucking ridiculous because they had apes looking like he was combing his hair and doing his nails and shit like that. It was so stupid. But yeah, when Caesar came and he and Koba kind of have a big fight and everything. Eventually Caesar kind of like shows him who's boss and stuff like that.
Then if that's like one of the big points in Rise, you'll be a little... Were you disappointed at all with the end fight in this because it would possibly be a retread of that?
Not really, actually. I think I actually like it. I like this one a little bit better.
Oh yeah, because it's set on a fucking tower.
Yeah, and the music was pretty epic too.
Oh yeah.
Almost wish I saw it in 3D, but not quite.
No.
And then
I'm not too big on... 3D sucks.
Well, depends on what movie you see.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay. But yeah, so that's So that's the big thing in Rise, and yeah, eventually he takes Koba under his wing and he makes him one of his
trust you like brother. I did.
Exactly.
Actually, except not Yoda talk, just ape. No, can we typecast that as ape talk?
Ape talk?
How they speak in this?
Or yeah, they speak like one word per 2 seconds.
What do you expect? They're apes learning to speak English.
I get that. I like that. I like that a lot better than can't we all just get along?
That's what Burton tried to do.
Yes. Oh
and he's
my
ripping
God.
And he's stealing his own material from Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, another annoying part. Again, back at the armory. Koba and Caesar are
they have two ideals. One, Koba hates humans because they experimented on him, which I think is a little simple-minded. You know, learn to let go, you stupid fuck. But the other one is Caesar. You know, wants to befriend the humans in the hopes of not ever having to go to war with them. And so, do you want to explain this?
Yeah. Okay. Koba finds out about the humans having spare guns because they're still in San Francisco. They're in like a forest outside of the Golden Gate. And Koba finds out there's guns and he immediately makes the accusation, oh, we can't trust them now. They can kill us. And which can actually be pretty understandable because when you're in that situation, fear makes you motivated. In a way, you know, I can kind of see that, but at the same time, you guys tried to kill us. Mm-hmm. So that goes back to my idea of neither one of you is perfect. Use some sense. And obviously, I mean, since which this movie does well.
Yeah, it does. So, you know, Caesar is the more sensible person. He realizes this. Big spoiler here, but Koba ends up actually trying to cause a war with the humans by taking a gun, somehow learning how to use it, and shooting Caesar and blaming the humans for it. Which is I found that scene to be a bit odd because it's like. Are you apes? Are you apes deaf? Can't you hear where that gun came from? So unless Koba immediately threw it away, wouldn't you easily be able to say, "Hey, he just shot Caesar"? But
I was just about to try and explain that plot point. No apes saw Koba trying to shoot Caesar.
Yeah.
And everybody else was looking at the humans that were, although they might have thought it was Carver.
Yeah, I think the people themselves thought it was Carver.
Yeah. Although, how did they know that he didn't do it? Besides finding Caesar. Oh yeah, Caesar lives.
Caesar says, he's like, no, Ape did it.
That's why I said after they found Caesar. Oh yeah.
They thought it was Carver all the way up to that point.
Back to not to ruin it, but back to the
fine.
armory. Koba takes this armory in the hokiest way possible. These two guys who are about to kill Koba after he first discovers it, Koba acts like he's in a circus or something, and they actually buy it. Which,
considering these apes were smart enough to come up to your doorstep and threaten you, I don't think these guys are fucking idiots. I was kind of glad when they died.
I kind of was too, but still, it's an ape killing a human.
Yeah.
And then the second time that he rolls around, they've been drinking Johnny Walker Blue Label, and he tries to be like, oh yeah, ha, drink. Ooh, let me see your gun. Bam, bam.
Yeah.
Complete.
Again, I just can't believe, how the fuck do you know how to use a gun that quick?
No, but it's just sort of insultingly easy about
how easy he takes the entire armory. Yeah. And plus it's not just the apes they have to worry about. What about other people? It's the apocalypse here. Other people could be coming and being like, hey, we're gonna take your guns here. It'd be worth guarding with more than just two assholes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so and then of course crap, what I want to talk about? Shit, I forgot.
While you're thinking, I'd like to bring up a point I made earlier about Caesar. I thought he had a very, not demonic, but very aggressive personality and motivation in Rise, and that's why he broke everybody out. But from what you're describing, he seemed like he was just doing it as a hang on, let me see if I can find the description. Ends justifying the means, like getting rid of all this serum, causing a virus to go out, just so the apes can
he didn't do that on purpose.
Oh.
No, that was, like they described, was a complete just fuck up on the scientist's part.
Okay.
When they were experimenting with the apes, and the stuff they were working with eventually got out after he tested it on his dad, James Franco's character.
Okay.
He thought the serum, he's like, oh, it works on Caesar, it could certainly work on my dad. That's the whole reason why he made the serum in the first place, because his dad had Alzheimer's.
Okay.
But after that didn't work, he tried to find a vaccination for it, but ultimately that resulted in a flu.
Okay. But, alright, now that I know, I thought Caesar's motivation was very hardcore aggressive, and seeing him in this sort of peaceful manner seemed like it was a complete turnaround of his character.
He wasn't this. See, you keep thinking that he was deliberately aggressive in the first movie.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He was just again, going with the PETA theme, he was just very, very poorly treated, and he saw how all the other apes were being poorly treated, so essentially he just wanted to revolt and find them a good safe haven.
He was their Moses.
Essentially, yeah, that's all it was. Let my people go. It wasn't that he hated humans. It wasn't that he wanted all the humans dead. He wanted his people safe.
Okay.
So that coincides with what he's like in this movie. He's not really concerned about what the humans do. He doesn't even care whether they live or die. He just wants to make sure his people are safe.
Okay, so then that actually gives me more respect for his character. And for me, this is what made the film for me. They focused on what they needed to focus on, which was the apes. They focused on how they acted as a culture. They focused on how they reacted with, oh yeah, we forgot to describe a plot point. The humans are trying to use a dam that's in the forest to provide power for San Francisco.
Yeah, that's the only reason they keep going back. which again, why would you? Oh God, I'm sorry, I just can't get over how stupid it is. We want to make peace with you guys. That's why we're gonna shoot everything that moves. Fucking hell.
No, you're only talking about the one guy that they had.
Carver, yeah. But again, why would you even bring that asshole with you? Why would you give him a gun?
Because he knows the dam.
He may know the dam, but they seem to, excuse me, they seem to be able to fix it just fine without him. They put him in the car and they made him stay there.
Because they already had the info that they needed.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
He assuming.
Well, at that point, you should just send him home. Make sure he doesn't come with anywhere near these apes. I don't know. I just think this guy is just this. I can't get over the stupidity of this guy.
But the rest of the movie trumps him.
He
dies in the first act.
Yes.
It's okay.
But yeah, among most of my complaints really are minor. You know, the gun control message. And yes, there is one.
All right, I'll try and find it next time I see this.
Okay. Dude, I can't believe you missed it. I really can't. Of all the stuff that happens in this movie, all the stuff in relation to guns, just think about it for a sec. Is there not clearly an a gun control message in this movie?
Then it must have been way too subtle for me to realize.
It's not subtle. It's, in fact, that's my problem with it. It's very blatant. It's very beats you over the head.
You mean blunt?
Yes.
What
did I say? Blatant? Oh, sorry. I meant blunt. Okay, sorry. But yes, this movie just pounds it into your head that we could have a tight lock on guns, because otherwise this is gonna happen. Even though you still need to find people that know how to use them and not the fucking apes, but. Oh, jeez. I keep going back to my nitpicks. I guess it's the little details that can stick with me for the longest. But I mean, the overall lasting appeal of this movie was pretty good. I mean, it's still it has a much better approach to this whole idea of the two opposing species idea that done much better than in most movies I've seen.
Messing with evolution and Darwinism, pretty much.
Yeah, essentially.
I want to try and complain about the narrative a little bit, because
you want to?
Well, it's just something
in my nature. I have to hate things.
No, that's your nature.
Okay, fine.
I'm kidding. But it seems that Caesar is a little bit too forgiving of the humans, but near the beginning at least, after they shot his son. And
No, that wasn't his son.
Ash?
Ash was not his son.
Oh, I thought he was.
It was his friend's son.
Okay. No, wait. His
son was the one with the
blue
scars.
Eyes. Yeah, blue eyes.
Blue eyes. Blue Eyes White Dragon.
That's his name?
No, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
You actually paid attention to those things in the early 2000s.
Yes, I did.
Anyway, yeah, he just seemed a little bit too forgiving in the beginning, but then he actually did have a personality come through, a personality and a full character after he was reluctantly accepting the offer of the humans to help his wife when they get one extra day.
Yeah, so which they take 2 extra days, by the way.
But yeah, overall, Caesar seemed to be pretty alright. Oh, this is what I'm trying to complain about. The third act, you can pretty much predict about what's gonna happen. After Koba betrayed, I thought Caesar would have been completely dead.
I honestly thought that too. I thought, wow, he's gone.
Which, that's partially stealing from like other movies that have betrayal in it, and I thought somehow like Blue Eyes would have found out, but nope, Caesar still lives, and can I just say one thing?
Go. When Koba does take over, he rarely holds a gun. Everyone else who's like questioning him and thinking like, I don't really agree with your ideals. I prefer Caesar's. He's like, no, you follow me. It's like, okay, I guess there's no way I can defend myself against you except this gun I have on my back that I somehow know how to use.
I actually didn't notice that, but
like, would you remember his son or Blue Eyes?
Yeah, Blue Eyes.
Blue Eyes was staring at Koba the whole time while he was carrying away Ash and like threw him over the edge and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, if you don't like it, use your gun.
But then that wouldn't solidify Koba's power, Koba's ability to manipulate everybody else through fear and through his immediate power.
No, I'm talking about if his son shot Koba.
I know.
Well, then how? If Koba's dead, he can't manipulate anybody.
But then, never mind.
Oh, well, it's fine.
But what I was getting at was you could predict everything that's going to happen. Blue Eyes finds out that Caesar's alive. He finds out that Koba betrayed him. He brings back everybody. And it's not done in like too quick of a fashion, but it's not done painfully slow.
Yeah.
So that I can at least give props for. And even though the story isn't too much new, the way that the characters react, and these Apes actually are pretty decent characters.
Yeah.
Despite
admittedly, they don't have much spoken dialogue, and they don't have much really.
Which is amazing when the special effects team gives them so much facial expression.
Yeah, there's good screenwriting in lack of dialogue, and there's good storytelling to where.
But that's actually more on the director's part, I think. So that he provides the vision, and then the screenwriters just provide the words that they have to be.
Well, you
seen.
know the thing about screenwriting, they write everything you see.
I know.
So,
but it's still the director.
They could still say it's like we want this character emotion right here, and stuff like that.
Touche.
Okay, but I have a lot of respect for the screenwriters. Okay,
mm-hmm. I do too.
I know, but I feel like a lot of their stuff goes unnoticed, and a lot of it goes to either producers, directors, or other.
Producers can suck it. All they do is, hey, we provide money, and we.
I thought you were just gonna end right there. All they do is, hey, that's it. That's their whole job.
But the production value on this is very good, and it's very big and bombastic.
Yeah.
Which is something that you need for a sci-fi movie coming from a franchise that's this big.
Yeah.
So the important elements that were in this, they kept important. They focused on the apes a lot. The humans are still kind of interesting. The kid you could have taken out.
Well, actually, I thought they were gonna do a little bit more with his interaction with the orangutan.
With Maurice.
With Maurice. Like, I thought that was kind of neat. I thought maybe they'll be the bridge between humans and apes, but they don't really do anything with it. It's just a cute moment.
But not necessarily, because then that provides an outlet. That provides a visionary outlet of this is what can happen if we. So it, even though it didn't exploit it too much, it still gave an idea that could be. Wait, no, it couldn't be used in the next one because then that would.
Jeez, that'd be like if Disney made a sequel to this. Everything's fine, everybody's happy. Look, we're all friends here.
Yeah, and that was also another thing with this. I was anticipating the ending of this because, like it's like seeing a flashback of someone. You know what's gonna happen, and that everything's not gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But at least this kept it ambiguous enough and it gave it good grounds for the next movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And keeping important to the apes, the action is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And the ape characters were all very good enough for me to pass on this. I think we got to wrap this up.
Oh, we got like 5 minutes left, so Yeah, there's not much else to say. It was a pretty good film. Not, okay.
Anything but perfect.
Pros, it's okay. Let's start with my cons. Cons, it's a really overly simplistic gun control message in it. There's other nitpicks, like really stupid human characters, and just a few other minor nitpicks, like how the hell do the apes learn how to use guns so quick, and how do they never run out of ammo? But by pros, it's got some really good characters. It's got some really good screenwriting and directing. It's told very well through sign language, minimal dialogue, and facial expressions and everything.
Special effects team, great job.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job. The motion capture work is great by
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
My precious. Fuck! I do a bad Golem impression. My precious.
It's like Gollum choking on mouthwash.
Oh boy.
But yeah, pretty good movie. Vastly better than Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I really don't agree with people when they say this is better than the 1960s film. I still say that is the best Planet of the Apes thing ever, but still I don't think you should pass this one up. I think it's pretty good.
All right, my cons for this are that the narrative at the end is a little bit predictable. There are a couple of plot points that are kind of annoying. And some of the, Koba's a little bit simplistic, and like there are other characters that are simplistic, but it's half of a con because they're somewhat necessary. My pros, Caesar is great, despite me and my original thoughts of him.
Yeah.
The overall apes are good. The storytelling through motion. The storytelling through motion is very well done, and how can you go wrong when everything is this big?
Yeah. So, I say give it a watch.
Absolutely. Again, 7 to 7.5 out of 10. I gotta decide on either one. Actually, yeah. I'm gonna go with 7.
I'm gonna change mine to 8. It's better than the 5 I gave Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
You gave it Rise a 5?
Yeah.
All right.
It was bad.
I'm Spooner Leahy. He's the music man. We both give this.
Oh my god! Something just move? Fucking kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Sorry, I'm just doing my impression of the best character of the movie.
Go see this.
Yep. Bye.
Till next time, get out of your house and see a movie.
Yeah.